I'm back on the tester with the new mech Silverthorn. Here are the stats. It's a legendary attacker, so 32 max energy. Same HP as Gatecrasher, which is pretty good for an attacker. It's also fast, 23 kph, which is the same as Orion, I believe. Here's the ability, Blade Burst. Fires 5 blades, damaging and slowing on a hit. After a time, the blades retract, dealing extra damage around the targets based on the damage dealt during the ability duration. Here are the 5 blades. Looks pretty cool. So yeah, let's jump into some matches so I can show you how it works. Alright, here we go. This is Silverthorn. Here we go, let's fire the ability, so all the knives line up and then fire basically. They do travel a little slowly, so you sometimes have to lead your shots when you're in range, but let's test them out on an enemy and see what they do. So basically, oh, I can hit that one, that's an Aegis, we'll have to wait, but basically what they do, they slow down the enemy, and of course they're going to do some damage. The damage isn't crazy high, I think it's like 8k at max level for like ×5. If you hit them from behind, it can do pretty good damage, but just like with any other damage dealing ability, it's nothing crazy. Right there, we didn't even get the kill. My teammate actually got the kill. I just helped with an assist. Let's push over here so we can capture this middle beacon. But yeah, this thing, it's really nice. The fact that it slows down whoever you hit is really nice because it kind of locks them down. It's only a 40% slowdown, but really that's pretty significant, right? What that means is they're really stuck in the open for the most part. And then it also applies a effect to them. You can see there, it is basically that effect stacks. If you saw the number go up as me and my teammate there fired at him. The number of stacks basically will increase that extra damage you get at the end of the duration. And then it will explode, dealing splash damage to all the enemies around it. And obviously that mech too. Let's try to get this dude. Oh, he's in his dome. That's also another nice thing. You can kind of use it to shred up the dome a little bit. It's a good amount of burst damage with the ability. It's not crazy, but it definitely will help. And the fact that it has 5 blades means that you're definitely able to get rid of some mods, some ML layers pretty well. Alright, we gotta watch out. These bots are closing in. Let's grab... Oh, wait. There we go, we apply stacks, and then you guys will see, once the duration goes out, he took 11.8k damage, so it's nothing crazy. That's definitely a pretty lackluster part of the ability. Like, I mean, it's more damage, so take what you can get, but it's nothing crazy for sure. There we go, lock him down, apply some stacks. You see the stacks go up as I fire, and I only did 33,000 damage, and it's limited to up to 60,000, so you can't even really get that high of damage with it, and it does take a while to go off. Boom, and we didn't quite finish that guy off with it, so it's just a little bit of extra damage. Maybe 1 in 100 kills you'll get a kill from behind, you know, after the fact, but it's just a little bit of DOT. It's nothing significant. The main thing is, for me, the main thing is definitely the slowdown, because once this guy's slowed down, he's just locked in the open, and there's nothing he can do to escape, right? It's a bit of an ambusher. This is kind of like Redux, because I mean that slowdown effect is essentially just stasis in a different form. It does apply stasis there, so that's basically just stasis with the DOT effect. But yeah, overall this mech also has those really good stats I was talking about. It's fast and has good HP, so both of those definitely help it to be a good contender. Oh my gosh, we almost died. We got godlike though, so we're gonna win here. But yeah, overall this mech is pretty cool, I would say. The design of this mech is also pretty awesome, especially the animation of the blades when they reload, right? That's pretty sick in my opinion. But yeah, let's talk about, is this mech gonna actually be good? So this mech has good stats like I just mentioned, right? It's got very good speed and good HP for an attacker. You see we're over 400 and a 400,000 HP with the full mods. I have maxed mods just for reference. And the ability is pretty good, right? Again, it slows down, it does some extra damage, both of which are nice, but at the end of the day, this thing isn't gonna like counter the meta mechs, right? Of course, Eclipse is going to ignore the slowdown, the stasis, and the like DOT effect. Obviously, the damage will still work on it, which isn't terrible, but against Eclipse, this thing isn't gonna be anything special, right? It's still not the Eclipse counter we need. And then against something like Surge, right, or Seeker, all those type of things, it doesn't really have a defensive mechanism. The only defense it has is just the fact it could slow down an enemy. Obviously not Eclipse, but it can slow down anyone else, which could be used defensively if you need to like run away and hide. But at that point, you're probably going to be dead against some type of meta mech. It's definitely cool though, and I think because it has those real, I mean, these are some of the best stats we've seen in the game. It's faster than Gatecrasher, which Gatecrasher already has like really good stats, and that combined with high energy capacity, yeah, this thing's stats are really good. Over time, we've seen a bit of power creep with stats improving, but this is definitely one of the highest stats in the game, right? It's just the ability that doesn't quite compete with other meta items, but overall, overall, I think this mech will be pretty good, right? Like, again, it has good stats and the ability isn't bad at all, right? It's going to lock people down, do extra damage, but you're not going to be able to fight those Revokers at close range too well. They're definitely going to get to you. Let's try it against Eclipse. So right there, it just does extra damage. He slowed down. He didn't have that, actually it did have a visual bug, but it didn't do extra damage from that effect there. We can even hit from range. That's pretty good. I mean, that was 100 meters. Like, the range on the ability is good. There are some mech-specific implants that you can use as well. There is one to increase the speed of the blades, which I tried and didn't feel very good. There's one for the radius of that bonus damage, which is definitely not worth it. That radius is not very important at all. I'm just using the ability damage and cooldown, of course. So those are the main ones. Mainly, you just need the cooldown. I don't know if the ability damage is super necessary, but here on the test server, I just wanted to try it out. Definitely, I think this is a cool addition to the game, but yeah, overall, I don't think it'll be like the most meta thing ever. It doesn't counter anything particularly well, right? It's going to want to mostly, like, for the weapons you want to use on this, you're going to want to mostly be able to stay back right here. Like, I don't really want to be fighting a Revoker guy, right? I'm just going to get destroyed, because even though it has good HP, it's not like it can, again, it doesn't have any defensive abilities or anything. All it can do is, it has burst damage, lock someone down, and then take him out. So it's more of an ambush type mech. I was saying earlier, it's kind of like Redox, obviously, better stats than Redox, but it's kind of the same thing where you want to ambush someone and then take them out with your ability slowing them down. So overall, this mech is pretty cool and fairly balanced, right? It's not too OP, but it's not too weak. It's definitely not going to change the meta or anything, but it'll be a fine choice for people who want to have some fun with it. But is it a good addition to the game? And something I always emphasize in all these videos is that it needs to be something unique, right? And I do think this brings something unique to the game. Oh, I thought there was a player for a second. I'm tripping. This is the test server, but it needs to bring something unique, which, yeah, again, I think it does. It's got range stasis with some kind of cool new effects. It's not something like crazy unique, but it's not like it brings a new... I mean, it does have this new effect, but it's not very significant, right? 20,000 extra damage is nothing to, you know, of note much, right? But it's definitely like something unique. It's not like another Onyx, right? That's maybe the closest comparison. But again, the stats on this thing are really solid, right? You can run high energy capacity weapons. There we go. We just got some splash damage on those two guys at once. But yeah, I do think it brings something new to the game. And also something to consider when a new item is added is, will it be annoying to fight against, right? Because that's not something we really want to see, especially with the fact that bots use basically everything in the game. There you go. That was 67,000 damage. Not bad. But you don't want something annoying to be added, because then all the bots use it, right? Something like Hemlock bots are just a pain to deal with. It's okay if players are using it, because it brings new gameplay aspects, but if it's just bots using it, it's not great when something annoying is added. Obviously, it's okay, but it's just not the greatest. Like, I mean, I don't want to fight Hemlock bots. I don't think anyone enjoys fighting a Hemlock bot or a Solus bot or a Deathwalker bot or all those type of things. Just anything annoying. So I don't think this mech is too annoying. Obviously, you're going to get locked down with stasis, and that's not fun, but it won't be too bad, I don't think. There we go. The extra damage got that guy. Let's push up to this beacon here. We can hopefully finish off the enemy team. They've gotten pushed back pretty badly. I will say the range on this ability is pretty solid. I gotta watch out for this guy. I just missed. I didn't even mean to fire my ability there. Oh man, I might go down. Oh wait, never mind. Ah, looked away. Yeah, also, I will say the paint job, this basic paint job, pink and green, is pretty crazy. Oh, we might go down. Not quite. Oh, there we go. Never mind. Alright. Now I'm going to show you guys the new weapon. Alright, so here is the new weapon, the Reaver 8s. As you can see, we have a 15-round magazine. It has a really high fire rate. And you'll see the reload is only 1 second long. So this thing has a super short reload, which is pretty cool. The thing is that it only can hit up to 60 meters away. I have the legendary range implant maxed out, and I'm only able to hit up to 75 meters. So I can't hit this guy, even with the best implant for range, right? It does have, you can see it also has a really high double damage chance, so it does rely on double damage chance to do a lot of its damage. If you get lucky, you can definitely kind of high roll on a lot of those and do extra damage, but if you get unlucky, you might get into a situation where you didn't end up dealing as much damage as you thought. Right there, I just didn't get a lot. It's a 70% chance throughout all the ranks, so right there, we definitely got unlucky on that Scorpius, basically. So there's a bit of variance on the DPS, right, which isn't too terrible. A lot of weapons have double damage chances. It's just kind of a feature they like to throw in on a lot of stuff. But this is definitely a cool weapon, and it's really fun for Tango. I do really like this build I'm using right now. But I think it's pretty cool that this thing has basically traded off its range, right? It has less range than like all other assault or heavy duty or anything like that, all these kind of machine gun type weapons. And instead, it has this reload that's super short. And what's really good about having a short reload is that, just like Ember Gun and Revoker, you can just instantly recover from getting system crashed by Guardian or Outlaw, right? So it's super great against those. It's cool to see a weapon that's not a close quarters weapon get that kind of perk. The damage on this weapon isn't crazy, so I definitely don't think it's going to be anything like meta, right? This is going to change the meta, but it definitely brings like a new option. It's kind of a new functioning type of weapon, which I think is great. Again, when they add a new weapon, that's exactly what you want to see, is something that brings something new to the table, and this does, because it's traded off those typical stats of, 100-meter range or whatever, higher range. Instead of the 5-second kind of typical-ish reload, right, for something like Overdriver or Viper or Carbine, all those things have very similar reload and range, right? This thing has traded range for reload, and I think that's really a cool idea, right? It's good. It's going to generally be mid to close range. Of course, it can't go long range, but in general, you're going to want to try to stay pretty close with this thing, and it's almost like an infinite brawler, right? I mean, there's no point where I have to like, oh, I need to go reload. That just doesn't happen. I'm just reloaded. There is no reload implant, so you won't have to run that, but you're probably going to want to run 2 implants still, both range and damage. Here are the stats for the Reaver 8 if you want to check those out, but yeah, that's just the 8 energy variant, so it's not one of the stronger ones that we'll see later on. But yeah, that was my review for the new mech and weapon. Both seem like good, balanced, and fun additions to the game, so well done playing them. If you guys did enjoy the video, please leave a like on it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one.